This video accompanies the 2-1 additional practice on parallel lines. So let's look and see what we have here. So using this diagram, we want to identify all the corresponding angles. So remember, corresponding angles are same side, same side. So 1 and 5 are corresponding. And corresponding angles are congruent if lines are parallel. So 1 and 5 are corresponding. Angle 2 and angle 6 corresponding. Angle 4 and angle 8 are corresponding. And angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding. So those are all our congruent pairs of angles because, these angles are not going to be congruent because the lines in this diagram are not parallel, but they are in corresponding positions. Now, same side interior angles are supplementary if lines are parallel. This means parallel. These lines aren't parallel, but we can still say that angle 2 and angle 5 are same side interior angles, as are angle 3 and angle 8. So 2 and 5, same side of the transversal, inside the lines to cross, same side interior. And 3 and 8, both on the same side of the transversal, both inside the lines to cross, so that makes them same side interior on the other side. Now, if these lines were parallel, we could say that these would have to add up to 180 degrees. Alternate interior angles are opposite corners, inside angles. They're alternate and inside. So if the lines are parallel, then alternate interior angles would be congruent. So congruent if and only if lines are parallel. And pairs of alternate interior would be angle 2 and angle 8, and angle 3 and angle 5. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. You'd actually take the alternate interior angles and take their vertical angles and get to the exterior angles being congruent using transitive. But in one step, we can say that angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior, and angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate exterior. Now, if the lines happen to be parallel, we can say that alternate exterior angles are congruent if and only if lines are parallel. Let's look at the next ones. Which angles are supplementary to the given angle? So they're giving us the 128 degree angle. Let me mark the congruent angles first, and then all the other angles are going to be supplementary. So this to the right and above goes with 5, which is to the right and above. Vertical angles, 3 is 128, and by vertical angles, 7 is this going to be congruent to 5. Also, 3 and 7 are in corresponding positions. So these are all the 128 degree angles that are marked. These other angles are all going to be supplementary. 1 and 128 adds to 180. Angle 2 and 128 adds to 180. 4 and 5 would add to 180, but 5 is the same as 128. And 4 and 7 would add to 180. And also 6 and 5 and 6 and 7 would add to 180. So the supplementary angles to 128 are all the angles that are 52 degrees, and angle 1 is 52, angle 2 is 52, angle 4 is 52, and angle 6 is 52 degrees. So we have angle 1, angle 2, angle 4, and angle 6 are all the supplementary angles. Which angles are congruent? Congruent angles, we would have angle 3, we would have angle 5, and we would have angle 7 as the congruent angles. And we already talked about how they're either corresponding or vertical angles. Okay, number 7, we want to complete this 2-column proof. So we want to prove that angle 3 is congruent to angle 5. We want to prove alternate interior angles, and they're telling us that these two are parallel to each other. So the first thing we're going to do is start with the given. We have x parallel to y, so I'm going to mark them as parallel. Now we have parallel lines cut by a transversal. Angle 3 plus angle 8 are same side interior angles. So same side interior angles are supplementary. Angle 5 and angle 8 are supplementary because 5 and 8 are a linear pair. So linear pairs are supplementary. So let's see what we can do with this. We have that in number 2, those two angles equal 180, and number 3, those two equal 180. So basically we can set those equal to each other and say that the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 8 is equal to the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 8. That'd be the transitive property. We're using the 180 to link those two together. Take away angle 8 from both sides. We're left with the measure of angle 3 equals the measure of angle 5. That'd be subtraction property of equality. And then because these two angles are equal to each other, we can say that they're congruent to each other. So that's definition of congruent. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 5. Okay, let's move on. So in this figure, we have EH parallel to BL. So EH and BL or BI are parallel to each other, and BI is parallel to CJ. So these three sets of yellow marked lines are all parallel to each other. What's the measure of angle 1? Well, angle 1 is same side interior with this 53-degree angle. So 180 minus 53 equals 127 equals the measure of angle 1. Now it says explain. Same side interior angles are supplementary. Which means they add to 180. What's the measure of angle 3? If we just use the CJ and the EH as being the parallel lines in this system, the 53 and the angle 3 are in corresponding positions. They're both to the left of the transversal and both below the two parallel lines. So we can say that the measure of angle 3 equals 53 because they are corresponding angles. So they have to be congruent.